Hello everyone, I'm the FlightlessBird and welcome back to the Story-Based Gaming channel, and we are playing Virtue's Last Reward Blind. And we just finished the Golem Bay, we just finished that light eye puzzle, which I really enjoyed actually. I just wish I knew, how the orientation fit into the puzzle better. Because the puzzle itself is really cool, and the reverse answer is also really cool. But figuring out, okay, well, which, robot aligns with which circle, that was a little bit of a stretch for me, especially since you can't move around the map. If you can move around the map so that way you can center, the camera, so you can actually see this line and this line. But the fact is that you had like this back point of view and you didn't know which was back and which was forward. But, it wasn't a bad puzzle and I enjoyed it. But now we get to finally move on. And we got this interesting voice here. Someone saying, "Hold up, Governor." Well, let's find out who this is. All the dots. All the dots? Was that you, Luna?
No.
Then Alice?
You honestly think a voice that coarse could come from a throat as fine as this?
Then...
Oh yeah, that was me, mate. Oi, over here.
Oi, over here.
Sigma, look!
Who is
What
this?
is that?
Oh my god, the robot's talking to me.
Oh, blimey, that hurts.
Oh...
Ain't right for a fellow's back to feel like this.
What is going on in this game? It's a robot.
And it's talking. With an accent.
With an accent. It's like Alice is like, wow, robot's talking, and Luna's like, yeah, and with an accent too. It's like, the robot's talking.
Can't help it, Flower. Didn't choose to talk like this, not by half. Now, Alice, darling, do I rightly recollect you characterising my speech as coarse?
Australian, maybe?
Why, that's right, cruel it is. You really think I asked for this? See, they figured they'd give us all a, personality.
I hope I just didn't offend every single Australian in my audience. Sorry about that. It just, that to me sounds Australian.
Some tosser thought they'd give me this one. It ain't right, I tell you.
All the dots. All the dots. All the dots. So, what the heck are you?
Cooper.
If you're a barrel maker, I'm an astronaut. Now that one's funny. I will admit, that was good.
Right you are, me old son. Right you are. Well, go on. Have a butcher's, mate. What do I look like to you? Robot, you say? Well, nearly there, but they call us golems round here.
Golem? Oh, I've heard of golems. They're sort of monsters, I guess, from Jewish folklore. They're made from clay, and they look like men. They're supposed to do whatever their master, or creator, or whatever commands them to do.
Well, aren't you a clever bird? You are, of course, correct. The golem of myth is a clay creation that moves under its own power. Our spellings are might different, though. The original blokes are spelt G-O-L-E-M, but me and me mates are G-A-U-L-E-M.
I was wondering that, because when I saw the Golem Bay, I was thinking G-O-L-E-M, Golem. And I was wondering why they spelled it Golem.
That's an acronym for General Purpose Autonomous Labour Electronic Machine.
And that's why. General Purpose Autonomous Labor Electronic Machine. Man, that's a mouthful. I'm so glad they have an acronym.
The truth to tell, it's a bit rubbish when you write it out all like that. But I figure they wanted to make sure they had the golem thing in there, Well, with us being robots and all.
Oh, that's great. Oh. So, should I just call you Golem?
That don't seem quite kosher. After all of me mates here are golems too. I couldn't very well call all of you lot human, could I?
What should we call you then?
Well, we've all got a product ID, and they're unique. I figure that's as good a name as any.
And your ID is?
GTM-CM-G-OLM.
Do you got anything simpler? Whoa.
That's way too long. We can't remember that.
What? You taking a mickey out of me? Never had a problem myself. Right then, let's just use the last bit, shall we?
Golm? Gollum.
Oh, the Golem Bay has had the most laughs in this game, I think, than anywhere else. This place is amazing. Come on, man, that's just Golem.
Well, I'll be buggered. Can't say I ever noticed that before.
And his name actually appears as Golm. Oh, it's great. Sort of like playing Disgaea when the guy's just like, your name is not Mid-Boss, and his name appeared as Mid-Boss. Oh, it was great.
Sure, it's a strange coincidence, isn't it?
Oh, the dots. Oh, the dots. Oh, the dots. Alright. Golem, you said Alice, darling, a little bit ago, right?
What? A gentleman can't say something nice to a pretty young bird, eh?
No, I don't care if you call her darling. What I'm saying is you called her Alice. How did you know her name?
Oh, she ain't the only one of you lot whose name I know. I know who you are, Sigma, and you too, Luna. I'm right familiar with all 9 of you.
All 9?
How?
You don't know? Oh, they got cameras all over this place. Well, then again, the lenses aren't much bigger than a screw, and they're all hidden away, so I suppose I can't really blame you for missing them, you know? Now, as I was saying, there were these cameras, you see, and all of the data they record gets sent off to the mainframe in real time. So, I just gave the main core a ring, got those videos, and now I know everything you've done.
Then...
Does that mean...
You're Zero Jr.?
Cool, blimey. Are you bleeding serious? Oh, you gotta be off your box if you think I'm Young Master Zero. The Young Master is a right proper AI what supervises all the electronic bits and bobs in this place. My humble self, and those with the misfortune to be like me, are more akin to computer terminals who are merely borrowing a little bit of the central core.
Well, what bothers me, though, is you said Young Master. So, golems are kind of like Zero Jr.'s servants?
No, not quite, Governor, not quite. I'd say me and me mates here are more like arms and legs, right?
Someone please identify this accent for me. Is it British? I just probably offended every single person in Britain. Great. I'm sorry for all of that today. Someone please give me an appropriate accent. I know I got friends in the United Kingdom on this channel and other places, so maybe y'all can help me out.
Now, you lot don't have brains in your arms and legs, do you?
Sounds kind of like, was it Keith Urban from The Boys?
Of course not.
Right you are, missus.
And by the way, I just simply love Keith Urban's accent in The Boys. It is phenomenal, I just must say. He does a great job in that show.
You'd be all sorts of nasty if your elbows and that lumpy bit on your ankle was all packed with brains. Well, we're like your arms or legs. The Golem's seat of consciousness, so to speak, ain't in the head. Fact of the matter is, it's not anywhere in the body, which makes a fellow wonder, where is it?
In the mainframe?
Spot on. So that part of me what thinks is in the mainframe. Everything this here body sees and hears and what have you, that all gets sent back there. Then the mainframe does some sort of computery jiggery pokery and comes up with some decisions, and those decisions beget commands. Now those commands are sent over the wireless like whoop whoop whoop, and eventually my body picks them up. Finally, those commands cause actions what move the various bits in my body. That's why this thing's like a computer terminal, you see.
I wonder if this is an allegory. Because you remember Quirk, he was talking about how I need to free myself from my body. Is this whole sequence here about the fact that we do not exist in ourselves pertinent to like the overall idea of the story?
The body's just an output device of sorts. If we were talking about one of them personal computers here, you could say a golem's kind of like a monitor, right?
Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Then wouldn't that make you part of Zero Junior?
Well, I suppose you could say that. What with us sharing the mainframe and all. But I don't know shit all about this game he's running. That part of the mainframe's locked away from the rest of us. I'm an independent core. Zero and I are two different blokes. You recollect what Gollum stands for, huh? I'm autonomous.
But if that's the case, your hands and feet analogy, it doesn't really make sense. My arms and legs aren't autonomous. They don't just move on their own.
You sure, Governor? I watched you cross your arms just now.
Huh?
And now you're frowning and your forehead's getting all wrinkly. Do you do these things on purpose? Well, when you crossed your arms, were you thinking, right then, let's cross them, shall we? Curl on down then, mouth. Oh, and eyebrows. I'd be much obliged if you'd squeeze in a bit. There's a good pair of blokes.
Oh, I like Gollum. Gollum's great.
That's what you was thinking, innit? No? Didn't reckon so. I figured you did all of that subconsciously. Ain't no man on earth who says to himself, feeling a mite nervous, I'll just twitch me leg around a bit, you know? Who's thinking real hard about something and says to themselves, well, I think I'll just give the old loaf a scratch, that'll help. How's about when you reach for your tea? When you turn a page in your book? Or what about when your eyes just go straight for the pair on that bird you fancy? Yeah, the list goes on, me chums. But all of those things are your subconscious at work. Now, true, when part of your body does something, it's because your brain said so. But that don't mean your conscious mind is involved. Fact is, it can't be. If your brain had to deal with all the piddly bits of living, it'd make you balmy. That's how us Gollums and the young master get along. You got it all sorted now, chums?
Then you're saying that Zero Junior is the central part of the mainframe, and the golems are like his hands and feet?
Righto!
All the dots. All the autonomous dots.
Blimey. Guess I shouldn't be talking about such heavy rubbish, eh? My shoulders are all stiff.
You're a robot. How can your shoulders get stiff?
And you said your back hurt earlier. Are you just messing with us?
Yes, I did. And no, I ain't. Me back is a right mess, it is. Last maintenance check, they just left me here. I've been on this bed here for years. The lubricant for me joints is all gummed up. Every time I move, it hurts.
But why did you wake up again after all this time?
Why do you think, love? 'Cause you lot turned me on is why. Especially that other missus over there.
Oh yeah, the button on top of the safe.
Right you are, Governor.
Can you come with us then? The others need to see this.
No, I can't, and more's a pity. I can only go as far as this cable here will let me.
Aww.
I got internal batteries, but they're knackered. Matter of fact, that's why I was here for maintenance in the first place. The same goes for these other blokes too. Of course, they ain't connected to a power cable like I am, so they aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
I see. So you aren't gonna answer my question.
Huh? What question is that?
I asked you how your shoulders can get stiff if you're a robot.
Right, so you did. Not sure why you've got to bug up your arse about that particular issue, though.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not really important. But I'm just curious, I suppose.
Curious, are you? Oh, that's a good word, that is. A good, powerful word. The kind of word that will set any robot's heart to flutter. Let's get you sorted then, shall we? Just lend me your lords and peers for a tick. So, how can a robot get stiff shoulders? And what does pain mean to a robot? Tell me, Guff, you ever heard of the Chinese room?
Without waiting for an answer, Golem launched into his explanation. I've never heard of the Chinese room. What is that? Somewhere, a pretty young girl is trapped in a tiny room. The door of the room has a slot that a number of Chinese people outside the room can use to slide slips of paper to the girl. On the pieces of paper are questions written, naturally, in Chinese. Unfortunately, the young lady has no idea what the questions say. But then, how could she? She's never learned Chinese. Apart from a Hong Kong action movie or two in college, she's never even heard of it. So for this unfortunate young lady, each note looks like nothing more than a bunch of strange symbols. Before she was locked away, she was given it in order. Specifically, she was told to write an appropriate response to each question she received, and slip that answer back through the slot. Once the Chinese questions began to show up, however, she finds herself at a loss. Oh dear, she says to herself, why can't I read these at all? Whatever am I to do? It is at that moment she spots a bookshelf. The bookshelf is filled with thick books. Upon examining them, she discovers that they are some sort of Chinese phrase books. They have no explanation of what anything means, but show Chinese responses to Chinese questions. Am I supposed to use these? The questions keep coming. More and more of them. She finds the characters that correspond to the set of characters on the paper and carefully writes out the indicated response. How's it going? It's awful. Please get me out of here. Are you hungry? Yes, I am. I haven't eaten anything since breakfast. Here they give her some twice-cooked pork. Are you full? Yes, although I don't think my stomach liked it very much. Do you have a boyfriend? Yes, I'm dating a reggae dancer. When was your first kiss? When I was 14. He was a grade ahead of me in school. What color of underwear are you wearing? Black. Whoa, this is a little too much information here, buddy. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get out of this room? Beat the stuffing out of whoever's sending me these questions with the pan you cooked that twice-cooked pork in. Aha, you go, girl. All these questions were written in Chinese, and the answers were also written in Chinese. All the young lady did was accurately copy the symbols from the phrase books onto the slips of paper, with no idea what any of it meant. Incidentally, she doesn't have a dancer boyfriend. In fact, she's never even kissed a boy. Also, she's wearing white underwear. Not that you need to know that, of course. Anyway.
Yes?
Is there any particular reason this girl is, pretty? Or why we need to know what color underwear she's wearing?
Yeah, okay, I was thinking the same thing, Luna.
Can't say there is. Just tickles me fancy, I guess.
Oh my god.
But the prettier the bird is, the more fun the story is, isn't it?
Exactly.
What?
What?
All the dots. All the very embarrassing dots.
Right. Well, what I wanted to say was this. All them Chinese blokes outside the room didn't know nothing about them books what she had. So it follows that they would have thought whoever was inside spoke Chinese just like them. You see? After all, far as they can tell, they're having a nice little chinway with one of their countrymen.
Okay, so at first I thought this was alluding to the idea of the original Nonary game, which is the morphogenetic field. I actually said that right this time. I'm so proud of myself. So I thought, hey, maybe this is a morphogenetic field. The idea is that the girl is basically intuitively responding based on a receptor of sorts. However, now that he just said that sentence, I'm starting to think that this is more like Schrodinger's cat, where you're not sure if the cat is alive or dead until you open the box, just like you're not sure if the girl is Chinese or not until you open the door. Huh. I don't really know what... I really don't understand how these themes support the story so far, but I'm definitely getting there's something about that idea. Almost like saying you don't really know if someone's infected or not until you open the door to let them out into the world. Or almost like saying you don't know if they're going to be immune to the virus until you open the door and you let them out into the world. I think that's, where my brain is going with this analogy. But there's still so much we don't know. So let's continue on. All the dots. All the Schrodinger cat dots. Okay, interesting, but what does that have to do with your shoulders? Or a robot feeling pain?
You thick? I feel pain when my body's having a spot of bother. Well, hold up, mate, this ain't right. We keep this up and we're buggered. If things go really pear-shaped, we'll be brown bread. So says the central computer to itself, seeing that things are a bit bollocksed. In the interest of extricating my body from this unpleasant predicament, the mainframe sends out a signal over the wireless, and my software interprets that signal as pain, and I stop doing whatever daft thing I was doing. It's the same, innit? Just like the Chinese room.
So you're saying the robots feel pain differently than humans, right?
Use your loaf, missy. You listen to a word I've said. A human feels pain when you do something you shouldn't, like sit your bum down on a tack, right? Same thing for us robots.
All the dots.
If you feel like being clever about it, there ain't really that much different between a human and a robot. Forget all about that mainframe and signal bollocks, and us golems ain't that different from the bird in the room. So think about it, love. How do you know humans ain't the same, just without all the electronic-y pony, huh? What if, when someone asks you a question, all you're doing is pulling out the right answer from some sort of phrase book in your brain? Ain't no way to prove that, of course, but far as I can see, there ain't no reason to.
Okay, again, this is talking about like the idea of the virus, which is, you know, if the soul exists trapped inside a body, then how do we know that we actually exist too? This is very philosophical. It's very cool. I'm digging this.
I mean, it's all the same, innit? If you're actually a thinking creature, or if you're just some kind of language processing machine. All what matters is if the person next to you does what a human ought. Looks like a person, acts like a person, and talks like a person, then it's probably a person. You want to live a normal life? That's all you need to know.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Lay it on me, Governor.
Why'd you stop us?
Ha! Right you are, mate. Right you are. Got so carried away I near forgot. Haven't seen anyone for yonks, and I got a mite excited is all.
Just spit it out.
Right. Well, there was something I wanted to tell you, lot.
What was it?
Patience, darling. Now, I know I might look a bit out of sorts at the moment, but I ain't really supposed to. Same thing for the rest of the blokes here. Fact is, the reason we look a bit like skeletons is because we are a bit like skeletons. There's this special artificial biological tissue what's called ABT. When a golem's all new and shiny, they've got a nice suit of ABT over that metal skeleton. Makes us look right human, it does. Even feels like real skin, with pores, a little bit of hair, and a few pimples, scars and the like.
Wait. Is it possible that one of us or multiples of us aren't human but are golems? Oh, my brain just exploded. I'm not even going to try to think about that possibility right now because let's put a pin in this for now, and if this comes back later, we'll remember I said this, but for now, that idea just seems so crazy that it could be true considering this game.
Truth to tell, I doubt you'd be able to tell the real from the fake, even if it was right in front of you. See, right in the middle.
What?
Command violation.
What?
Rogue processes detected.
Oh, you see, you see, now I'm even more suspicious because it's almost like Zero Jr. saw that this robot was about to tell us that, you know, maybe one of us isn't real, and it decided to shut down the talker.
Product ID GTMCMGOLM. Executing emergency deactivation. Unit GTMCMGOLM now inactive. No other rogue processes detected in additional golem platforms. Returning to surveillance mode.
This is crazy. Did Zero just shut him down?
It looks like it.
I don't know what happened to that sentence. But yeah, I'm still in shock about this. The idea being that one of us may not be human is just, wow. Wow. You know, we may not be human. The whole team may not be human. Clover and Alice, who we think are actually members of the original 999 game, they may not be human. Oh man, this is just, oh, I don't know. I mean, this makes it so that you really can't trust anyone, can you? It's so. Now, I never seen the TV show Battlestar Galactica, but I've seen people talk about the board game. And in the board game, you know, halfway through the game, people who are your allies just suddenly become traitors. And you don't know which ones you can trust anymore. Because people who you knew were your allies before may not be your allies now. And that's sort of how I feel right now. I feel like people who we knew we could trust, all of a sudden, I don't know if we can trust them anymore. And that just, wow. You know, I was talking about, hey, my faith in humanity is restored by Luna by not betraying us. But what if this has nothing to do with humanity at all? Yikes. All the dots. All the, oh my gosh, my brain just exploded dots.
I wonder what he was trying to tell us.
See, right in the middle of...
Oh, that was great. Right in the middle of what? All the dots. All the dots. All the dots.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
What the heck?
Someone on the other team must have opened it.
Darn it. Why would they do that?
We have to hurry.
Alright, let's go. Wow, business just picked up. Oh. So what is going on now? Future Frightless here. So before I noticed that when I edited these two episodes, this episode seemed a little bit shorter than the other one, just because, you know, the next episode goes about 35-40 minutes. One thing I wanted to do though is I wanted to go through these secret files. What is this file? I don't know this file. The file we were going to go through is this file, but I don't know what this file is, so apparently we missed something somewhere. Dio, if you can let me know, hey, are all these okay to read or not? I'm not sure. Maybe, you know, there was a point when the game glitched and I had to go back and replay something, so maybe we already read these and I just don't remember. So if someone can help me out with that, that'd be great. But for now, I want to read through these secret files before we get to the next episode. Golem. The golem is an anthropomorphic creature from Jewish folklore. Golems are made from clay and will obey any orders given to them by the creators without question. Although they tend to take instructions very literally, a golem is created by performing a holy ritual, then kneading the clay into the shape of a person, chanting a spell, and writing the Hebrew word Amet, truth, on the golem's forehead. Erasing the E changes the word to Met, which is Hebrew for death. Doing this deactivates the golem. Huh. Geolem. One of the golems found in the Nonary Game facility. He is discovered lying on the maintenance table in the Golem Bay. His product ID is GTMCMGOLM. He asked to be referred to by the last bit, which is of course Geolem. Much to his surprise, this ends up being pronounced like Golem anyway. On a side note, GTMCMGOLM stands for Golem Type Male Cockney Model Number Geolem. Huh. That's cool. Chinese room. The Chinese room is a thought experiment developed by American philosopher John Searle to contest some of the ideas about artificial intelligence. The experiment itself is explained in more depth in the game, but the general idea behind it is to pose the question, do intelligent responses indicate actual understanding? Searle contests that a computer could be programmed to respond intelligently in conversation with humans, so much so that it would seem to be human itself, but that it would not necessarily, or perhaps could not, actually understand what it was saying. Of course, this raises the question, how can we know that human minds are not in essence Chinese rooms? Can we really say that we understand the things we say, or are we just simulating understanding? The Turing Test. The Turing Test is designed to gauge a computer's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior, first developed by British mathematician Alan Turing. The test has 3 participants, a human judge, a human subject, and a machine. The judge engages in conversation with the human and the machine, and if the judge cannot determine who is the machine and who is the human, the machine is considered to have passed the Turing Test. When Fi mentions that perhaps she and her companions have been captured to perform a test, she is referring to the Turing Test. Oh, so my idea that maybe one of us is not human, maybe this is all a game to see if the robot can pass as human? Well, and that just makes me more confused. Supplementary AB rules. By the way, there's a great movie called The Imitation Game, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch, which is a guy who plays Sherlock, the dragon from the Hobbit movies, and of course Doctor Strange. The Imitation Game is a great movie about Alan Turing, and even though it's not completely historically accurate, it's still close enough to tell a really good story. Supplementary AB rules. Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not an option. If both bodies refuse to vote, then everybody gets penalized. In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote. Golem. An acronym for General Purpose Autonomous Labor Electronic Machine. Golems are robots developed and sold by an American corporation called Hephaestus Systems. Some of the units of the facility, however, had their software significantly enhanced by Zero Senior. A portion of them have also been given ABT created by Zero Senior. Incidentally, ABT is short for Artificial Biological Tissue. Yeah, when I think of ABT, I think of ADP, which is Active Time Battling, an RPG thing. Golem Story, the point. The gist of Golem's somewhat rambling explanation is that the center of thought doesn't necessarily have to reside in the body. In the case of Golem, the self clearly resided in the mainframe and operated the body remotely. Since the self-aware robot could exist this way, he theorized, what would prevent humans from doing the same? If humans are actually being controlled by an outside force, then is there actually any such thing as free will? Very, very cool. Alright, well, I am the FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel. I hope you guys enjoyed Virtue's Last Reward, and yeah, the next episode, it gets wild, so let's talk about it in the comment section below, and until then, my friends, take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter, you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.